A given month, I would say it was probably around 3K.
It's like $30 an hour.
If you have the time and energy, absolutely you should go for it.
Close to $1,000 a month.
Is there a way that you made extra cash outside of a job, something like a side hustle?
I do like some stock trading on the side, kind of sometimes during work hours, sometimes not.
Can you say maybe how much you made in like a month or something like that?
It's like a couple thousand a month.
And how did you get into that?
Oh, it was kind of during the pandemic. I couldn't go on the road for my sales job, and so I was just sitting there for like 3 months. Couldn't make any commission. I was like, I got to figure something out. So tried to learn that. It was hard though. It took a while to be profitable.
And would you recommend stock trading for other people?
You gotta like give like 2 years at least of like hard work, and yeah, it kind of sucks, like a couple hours a night. So I don't know, if you're committed to it, yeah, but if not, no.
Photography.
How long did you do that for?
I still do it, but I've been probably doing it about, maybe about 8 years. So I don't even do it in the wintertime, but if I'm actually home and actually doing it, maybe like 500 to an extra 1,000 a month, somewhere in there.
Recommend this to others?
I would, but there's a lot of variables to that, so it's not for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I guess this would qualify as a job, but it was kind of a part-time job. But I had rental units, and so that worked really well. And we had it for years, and it was very fruitful.
And how did you get into that?
It was one of those things where I was hanging out with a bunch of guys. They had mentioned it, and the more and more I got into it, it worked out really well. It was just one of those things where it was the right opportunity, the right time. Found some good tenants, and it was good for a very long time.
And did you sell them, or are you done with it now?
We are done with it now. We sold them all right when COVID hit because there was some extra stipulations and we didn't know if we wanted to deal with all that, and so we sold them and went real well.
Could you say how much you may have made in a month from that?
A given month, I would say it was probably around 3K.
And would you recommend others to get into renting houses or apartments?
Very cautiously. If you have some extra income that you're looking to put towards this, or you have potential investors, then yes. Otherwise, if someone's going about it and they're possibly paycheck to paycheck, I would not encourage them to do that.
A couple years ago, I'm a musician. I play guitar. I like electric guitar. There are pedals that make your guitar tone change, effects pedals. And so I learned how to build those. And then I was traveling to China a bunch at the time. So I'd go to the China electronics markets. I'd buy components and come home and make my own guitar pedals and then sell them on Craigslist for $100 a piece. Didn't make much money at it, but it was a lot of fun. It was a great hobby.
Would you recommend other people trying to sell stuff online?
Yeah, I mean, if it's a passion that you like to do, then, sometimes it's hard to break in and start to earn money, but if it's your passion and you pursue it, it'll probably lead to good things.
I guess, yeah. I was in pallet sales for a little bit where, the companies, they send huge pallets, like truckfuls of them for like returned items. And then you go there and then you can get those and then resell them on like Facebook or something.
Do you know how much you made doing that?
During that, I don't know how much I made. Not negative though, that's for sure.
And then would you recommend others to try that out?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. Definitely a lot of money to be made out there.
Outside of a job, I owned a couple of businesses. I owned a security company, physical security company, and then I owned a staffing company for years. And then before that, I was an opera singer, self-employed for about 10 years. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you recommend others to try to start a business?
Absolutely. I think live your dream rather than live in somebody else's dream. If you've got it, I think anybody can do it. If you have the time and energy, absolutely you should go for it.
I haven't had a job since I was 40. That was in 2008. So I have lots of investments, mostly investing in startup companies. So I don't know if that's not quite what you're asking about, but yeah, lots of investments. So
how did you get into that?
I have a business school at MIT, and then I was an analyst with Morgan Stanley in New York and San Francisco for over 10 years. When I left them in San Francisco, startup scene was huge, and it was just kind of a natural segue to get into angel investing, venture capital, stuff like that.
What would be the best way for others to get into something like that?
It's pretty hard. For me to make a career change, I was a chemical engineer, and to go from chemical engineering to Wall Street high finance kind of stuff, I had to go to a top business school. Venture capital, it's even harder. It's kind of an insular industry, so I'd say an MBA from a top school plus some connections, and maybe that means you start as an intern or something like that, but you need to have some basic finance skills and some investing experience, and then some connections, whether again from a business school or personal family connections are helpful, unfortunately.
What's one way that you've made money outside of a job, something like a side hustle?
Playing poker, I guess that's not really a job, but, I've played a lot of poker in my day, so, yep.
Can you say how much you may have earned in one night?
In a night, up to maybe $1,000. I don't play like super big stakes, but yeah.
Would you recommend it for people to make money?
Probably not. I mean, probably not a way to make money. You know, I mean, someone's got to lose it for someone to make it. So
Pickleball lessons is something I do right now, just on the side.
And how long have you been doing that for?
I started in January, so 4 months now.
And would you recommend others to do coaching or training as a side hustle?
Yeah, for sure. The game's only getting bigger. People are always going to want to learn how to play. I think it's a great way to get into the game.
Yeah, I did coach high school volleyball for a year.
What are the hours that you
It was just evenings. Yeah.
Can you say how much you made from that?
I have no idea. It was so long ago. So you're asking me a memory question. I can't remember the score. So.
Would you recommend coaching for other people as a way to make extra cash?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Like there's such a need right now in the pickleball world that, and it's fun. I really enjoy it. It's kind of like my job too, as far as working with movement. I'm a physical therapist and I work with kids. I love the whole coaching realm as it is. Yeah.
It's an Etsy shop, but it's not really doing anything. I mean, it's not doing anything right now. So. Right.
What did you try selling on there?
Polymer clay earrings.
And how did you get into that?
Somebody I followed on Instagram was making them just for fun, and I thought I like to do crafts and art, and it didn't look difficult, so I figured it out and enjoyed it. And I'm like, if I'm spending all this money on the supplies, I need to do something to recoup that.
I was a babysitter.
Oh,
That's how I made.
Yeah,
That was great money.
And can you say how much you may have made in a month doing that?
Well, it was in like 2009, so pre this inflation, and I think I made close to $1,000 a month, which was amazing in high school. I don't know. It was my boyfriend's family though, so
Okay.
I think they gave me extra money.
Whatever works.
Yeah.
You know how much you made?
I was a child, probably like $100 a week, like nothing crazy.
Would you recommend babysitting to others?
Yeah. It was fun.
Yeah, I thought it was fun.
Well, I used to mow lawns and rake yards. That was probably my early side hustle, was knocking on doors, with a rake, saying, "Can I get $20 to rake your yard?"
And would you recommend others to try and do that to make extra cash?
Yeah, definitely. All ages, 9 to 99. Anyone can rake a lawn or mow a lawn.
I've given a couple tennis lessons.
And do you know how much you got for those tennis lessons?
It's like $30 an hour.
And then would you recommend like coaching or training to other people that want to do a side hustle like that?
Yes, I mean, if you have the skills to coach, then by all means, add it as a second extra side hustle.
Welding.
How did you start welding?
My dad.
Can you say how much you may have made in a month from welding or something like that?
If I'm being honest, I don't know.
Would you recommend welding to other people?
Oh yeah, because it's fun. You can make good money.
I actually do some side work for John, who I met through pickleball. So I do some software development for him outside of this. So it's a great way to meet people and get connection from it too.
And how did you get into that?
I mean, I've always been like a computer nerd since I was a kid, and ended up making a career out of it. So I was pretty happy about that. So every day goes by really fast for me.
And would you recommend others to do that?
I mean, it really depends on if you enjoy doing that kind of work, because if you're just in it for the money, I feel like you're gonna burn out pretty fast.
Helping people with their yard work.
Were you a teenager doing this, or?
Yeah, when I was growing up, a teenager.
Do you remember how much money you may have made from that?
Probably like $20, for helping someone, with their leaves.
And would you recommend that for others to try?
Yeah, especially teenagers, especially now, help them build a good work ethic.
Oh yeah, as a kid for sure. Mow lots of lawns, kind of the whole neighborhood.
Do you remember how much you may have made?
I think the first time I ever got money from a neighbor, I got $5 for doing his whole lawn. It was a massive lawn too, but I was geeked. I put that $5 on the fridge. I was pretty pumped.
Would you recommend lawn mowing for other people?
Yeah, definitely. It's a way to get outside. At least you maybe not look like this if you're mowing lawns more often.
What's one way that you've made money outside of a job, something like a side hustle?
I'm a cosmetologist, so a lot of times I just cut hair on the side. I really don't work in a salon anymore, but I went to business school first, Davenport, and then the program I went into, they discontinued it. It was hospitality management at Davenport. So then I switched gears and went into cosmetology, and I did that about 7 years, and that's where I met my husband, Tom. He was one of my favorite clients, and now he's my husband of 30-some years, so that worked out. And worked in the salon for a while until we had kids, and then I decided to stay home and went back to it for a couple years, but COVID kind of put the kiboshes on the salon atmosphere, and so now I don't do it anymore except on the side.
And then would you recommend others try that for a side hustle?
Yeah, if you're passionate about it, it's great because I love it. It's not a job to me, and I feel like, you know, prices are really expensive at the salons and stuff. So if I can maybe do a benefit, you know, using my skills, like even a pickleball benefit someday, if we needed to raise money, I could get some of my fellow cosmetologists together and do an event. I've done Relay for Life, the cancer, you know, events before. But yeah, if you're passionate about it, I would definitely recommend that as a side hustle.
No, I do a lot of volunteering, do a lot of mission work, so I don't make money, but I do a lot of things outside of my job that way, which I love. So.
And how would you recommend others to get into like volunteering?
Well, pick something that you enjoy and you just kind of go out and jump into it because everybody needs help. And if you have a willing heart, they'll open their doors and you'll find that it's very rewarding.